The No New Friends podcast is brought to you by Sandpiper Vacations. For the best in vacation plannings, just visit www.sandpipervacations.com. Let them know that the No New Friends podcast sent you. This is not sexy at all. This is not what I've seen in the movies. Yes, Sarah?
Singularly, though, of course. You're alone.
Please, of course. Yes, of course.
Listen, I don't want to assume on your behalf, Scott.
That is true.
You just should.
I was hopeful.
Scott
I was hopeful for you.
There, Sarah. He can't fit another human being in there.
Well, I was gonna say. Remember, I told you wedding night. We spent an evening in a jacuzzi tub with champagne and Jurassic World, and that was a fantastic experience.
Yeah, but Scott said bath, not Olympic pool.
Listen, we have a really big bathtub in our room. Our bedroom.
I believe
For an average sized person, you're right.
Was there bubbles, Scott?
Yeah, I mean, it's got the jets. It's like a really.
Did you add bubbles?
By farting, no.
Come on, man.
Or bubble bath, soap bubbles.
Yes, bubble bath.
Yes, because I wanted it to be like in the movies where I could go like this and then I was exposed. And to those of you who are hearing the podcast and not seeing it, I rubbed my breast.
I always see you're looking at your wife and go, look what I could do. Like this. She's like, nobody wants to see that. What are you doing?
You have no idea, Alex, how true you are.
Broadcasting from the Sandpiper Vacation Studios. It's time for the No New Friends podcast. The podcast for adults who love to laugh at adulting. The good, the bad, and the funny.
Okay, here we go. 5,
4, 3, 2, 1.
It's showtime. It's showtime.
Like the guy said, we're the No New Friends podcast. The podcast for adults who love to laugh at adulting. Voted #1 by our friends and family. Now you can connect with us. All of our social media links are right there on our website, nonewfriendspodcast.com. While you're there, check out our really sweet merchandise and join our clubhouse. For as low as $2 a month, that's our Patreon. Become a friend with benefits. You can get exclusive content like cutting room floor, different prizes, and whatnot. It's only $2 a month. Also, we are live almost every single Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our YouTube, where we record this thing live. You get to see everything, the cutting room floor, the behind the scenes footage, all that good stuff. And then sometimes we go live on TikTok on Wednesday mornings from the Orlando theme parks. My name is Scott. I am the host. With me, as always, my amazing cast of characters, the scumbag reselling hoarder himself, Chris.
Life is Now, what if I just sang the whole song again like last week?
That was really fun. I spit out my drink several times while editing. The Jewish American princess, Sarah.
Hello.
Nick has a work meeting.
Ew.
And our producer, Alex.
Hello, hello, hello.
Who is actually with us in studio today.
I'm actually here.
Jump scare.
And not edit in my voice. I'm actually live.
Actually live. Or is
You're just doing this to make your job easier.
No.
Is he?
Listen to everything over again.
So, okay, this is a lot of crazy things are happening right now. We were supposed to be recording what was like the cast only last episode of No New Friends on Wednesday, October 9th. But here we are. We're recording a day early because we are in the path of Hurricane Milton.
It's me, Hurricane Milton.
We is subjective. We is pretty strong language.
When I say we, me definitely, people, and then Sarah and Alex are also
your people
in line.
are.
So we don't know if we're going to have power tomorrow night. I'm going to be working tomorrow night. So we don't know if we don't knock out this episode now, we don't know when this episode's going to knock out. So this will still be our last opportunity as a cast to discuss the podcast. Unfortunately, Nick couldn't be with us tonight because we did have to shift recording to today and he had a work thing. But next week, so when you're hearing this in a couple days, October 16th, join our Discord. We're going to be putting a public link to our recording. You can jump on, ask us questions, share your favorite moment of your favorite No New Friends podcast episode, because starting October 23rd, No New Friends podcast is no longer a thing. We will be Parents' Night Out with No New Friends. So super excited about that. We've got a lot going on. But of the four of us, Chris you and I have been here the longest out of the five active members. You came on May of 2021, episode
Sounds
22.
about right.
Really? 2021?
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like Chris has been on more episodes than the original co-host, but that happened very quickly.
Mm-hmm. I did.
Yeah.
Thank you for the sympathy laugh.
Yeah.
Chris, what was your favorite moment?
My favorite moment of the podcast. This is gonna sound cheesy. Probably gonna sound cheesy, but I the four of us. When the four of us hit our groove, and I don't know if I could pinpoint an episode or a specific time, but when it was me, you, Sarah, and Nick, and we just hit that groove, and it's just like every week I look forward to doing this. There's no burnout. There's no, I got to jump on. It's just, I'm hanging out with my, three of my closest friends, talking, laughing, and hopefully making other people laugh too. That's my favorite part of No New Friends, is making 3 new friends.
Yeah. Right. For me, for you, okay, my favorite moment, and I agree. Look, it's so funny because the four of us never knew each other prior to 2021. Mm-hmm. I knew Sarah's husband, but I didn't know Sarah. Right. I didn't know Nick. I definitely didn't know you. And so it's funny that how the four of us came together and how, like, I feel like the four of us know our deepest, darkest, like things that are like real things that are going on in life.
Absolutely.
Which is crazy to think that 3 years ago, 4 years ago, we didn't know each other.
And what's funny is like I've had late night FaceTime calls with Nick where we just start talking and we're on the phone for a while. I've talked with Sarah for a long time before. Scott tries to contact me on a weekly basis. We do talk every once in a while. But it's like, it's these, look, Nick's planning my sister's wedding essentially now.
Right.
It's like all
you
of
stayed
these
at my
things.
house before we ever met in person.
I know. It's all of these
Alex
things
stayed at my house the first time we met in person.
That is true. Yeah. None of this would have happened without this podcast, and for that I will be forever grateful for. It's it is the coolest thing that's ever happened. Like, it's just the fact, like, you really got to take a step back from us hopping on a computer and doing this every week. If we have 3 views a week, if we have 3 million views a week, the feeling will always be the same, where it's just hopping on with 3 of my best friends talking about life together, navigating life together, and then having other people laugh at our struggles and then also our triumphs, whatever they may be. Yeah. The community that we have been able to build has been amazing. The people that join the chat every week, the people that talk on our Discord, the people that we genuinely care about because of just because you had an idea of starting this podcast. I think that's the coolest thing. It's the friends we made along the way and the community that we've built and continue to build, really. Yeah,
it is a super cool thing. And, when I think about what you're saying, laugh at us for our stumbles, but celebrate our triumphs, man, especially if you're in our Discord, we all give each other so much shit, from our members to our friends to the host and all that. Like, it is a constant shit talk. But then when something good happens, these are the people that I want to share that with first, because they're going to be the first to genuinely celebrate that, Absolutely. Or when something bad happens, they're the first to say, hey, let me know if you need anything. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, 100%. Yep.
Which is, that's insane. All the cheesy stuff aside, your favorite show moment, Chris.
All right, my favorite show moment, cheesy thing aside, is probably those nights where I drink too much, and in all honesty, and just don't take anything serious and have zero filter whatsoever. The introduction of Cliff Notes, which we talked about before, so I don't want to go on and on about that. The introduction of Cliff Notes, you getting me to do that segment. I love comedy and I love writing jokes. So being able to do that every single week, having this outlet to be able to do that was, that Father's Day episode, probably my favorite moment, because I was able to showcase that to an extent. and then you saying, "Hey, let's try this," and we did it, and now it's a staple in the show. That's probably overall my favorite. But yeah, they do get a lot better the more that I drink.
Yeah, that was definitely a key moment for you. It's funny you mentioned your drinking. To me, your coming out party, and not in the same way that Nick comes out, but
Right.
Your really stepping out of your shell was episode 100. And
With
I don't
James
know,
Yon,
with
yeah.
James Yon. And I don't know what it was that made you click, but you just came out of your shell and hit kind of a whole new level, which was cool to see. My favorite moment, the first Bubba Job, or do they know it's Christmas?
Do they know it's Christmas? Amazing. Bubba Job he became a mascot of the podcast. We did a whole series on Twitch about him. Winning the Super Bowl with Bubba Job was another top moment for me.
I forgot. And that was right around the time that that was actually our Super Bowl was Sarah's it would have been her second episode, but she decided to eat an empanada from a food truck.
Right. Yeah.
That's my favorite part of all of this is that I'll never live down one trip to a food truck.
Well, Sarah, it's funny that you mentioned that. We'll get to your favorite moment, but Chris brought up a good point when him and I did an episode of After Dark where it was like we recapped the last 50 episodes, and this podcast is essentially like a time capsule of our life.
Absolutely. Yeah. Perfect way to put it.
Because you put it that way. So like, that's what you call
That's
it.
probably one of the, well, After Dark, I was like into my like 6th or 7th beer. So,
well, yeah. And I definitely remember having to have a conversation with you. Like, we're going to have to put you on a pitch count.
I do remember that
with your drinking, because
I did ignore it.
I know. Yeah. I think it was the first week. It was either the We Say Gay episode or Nick's coming out. I was like, I got to put him on a pitch count, because like he's better when he drinks, but also this was a little bit much.
I have like 3 words that I say when I'm that heavily drinking, and that's what the episode. 90% of me just saying the same 3 things over and over again.
Right. But like Sarah, both you and Chris with moving into new homes, Chris was going through the house buying process and then announcing to everybody that, he was having a baby and, kind of going through that. But, you've had some key moments, the empanada, food truck gate.
Yeah, that's
Truck gate.
it doesn't quite compare to your baby, Chris, but it is something to be proud of, I suppose. It's a moment in time worth mentioning.
It's up there.
One of my favorite things, you've had so many dynamite drops. Like, you could say one thing the entire episode, but that one thing will be the funniest thing of the entire episode. And I feel like so many things that you have said have made it into the episode title.
I appreciate
because they're just
that,
so good.
Actually, I have my moments sometimes.
You're amazing. Or you've delivered the punchline that makes the cold open at the beginning of the episode, which I love that, because you're a lot of times the star of that.
Well, thank you guys.
What and besides the friendships and all that, what has been your favorite moment on air? What's been your favorite on air moment?
So, I maybe would have had a different answer, but was it the last episode with Nick's Q and Gay, with the 2 of you going back and forth, had me dying. Honestly,
the game show. The game show.
I think it could go under either, right? Truthfully.
Yeah. I go both ways.
There you go. That was definitely hilarious for me, but not to be. I was going to agree with you though and be cliche, but I have to say that since I've joined the podcast. Not to be creepy, guys, but you guys come up in conversation like on the daily, just things that we talk about, things that we, like, oh, in the podcast, we talked about this, or we talk about things in the chat that just might resonate with something I'm talking about at work or so, but I find that you guys are definitely a part of just every day for me. It's not just once a week.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. You are all household names in the Yob household for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. A classic Sarah moment for me, and probably an underrated moment, was a couple weeks ago when your delivery of some of your lines when we were discussing whether or not women can come. And the way that you delivered your, Scott, I'm so sorry, just had me rolling.
You know, the thing is, and I've told you this before, just in passing, that it's very hard for me to exaggerate things. If something seems exaggerated, it just actually happened that way. So there are moments that I can really resonate with things, and unfortunately they really do, come out exactly the way I'm thinking. So I have my moments, but unfortunately none exaggerated. They're all very realistic.
We can't forget your chorizo joke.
That was a great one.
Like something like that. It was just funny to me because you guys were cracking up about it. And
So
you guys
funny.
kept referencing it. And I had to listen back to the episode. Like, what the hell are they talking about that I said? That was so funny. And it was something I say every day to my husband. Like every day. So I had to listen back. I'm like, what in the world did I say that had them in stitches?
Yeah. And then speaking of stitches, of course, your hand.
Yeah.
Which the podcast gods smile on us.
I was
quite
so
a bit.
minor, I forgot about it.
Like the timing of that hand injury perfectly coincided when we were sick and tired of hearing Chris talk about his Achilles injury. And that fight between the two of you, I think, is one of those classic moments of this podcast.
But please don't hurt yourself again, Chris, because it really did hurt to stab myself with the spindle. And I don't want to compete with you again for a little while, at least.
Yeah, not planning on it for sure. Not planning on it.
But your first big moment, and this is the moment, besides hearing you on that one episode of Nerd Archive podcast, but with your first episode with us, and it was you and Don't Wreck Yourself, Ryan. And
oh, yeah.
You dropped a joke about the strip clubs in Daytona Beach and the bongos. And I don't remember exactly what it was, but at that moment, I think Chris and I had this telepathic, like, okay, we're good. Like she needs to be on this every week just because of that one line. So funny.
Yeah. And for me, it was more of, wow, I guess Scott was right. Cause Scott was like, hey, you got to listen to this episode of Nerd Archive podcast. Got to hear this girl. I want to have her on the podcast. And I listened to it like 6 times because I was like, thought I listened to the wrong episode. I was like, I think she talked like for a total of 90 seconds, Scott. Scott just got that talent. He just knows, all he needs to hear is like 45 seconds.
I appreciate you
That's all I
having
need.
that talent, though, because I love being here.
Thank you. That's really all I'm good for, unfortunately.
That's the best you
Alex,
can do in less than a minute.
Yeah. Alex, you have a unique perspective because you get to edit this every week.
Yeah.
We've kind of talked about your favorite moments is when we say, Alex, cut that, and you're not sure if you should cut it or not, and you have to go back and listen. Or we'll say, Alex, cut that, and then we'll keep talking. And then 3 minutes later, I'm like, Alex, actually don't cut that. Leave that in. And then you have to undo.
Yeah.
What's been your favorite moment? God, I sound like a narcissist. Like, oh, tell me about us.
Hey,
Like,
what's your favorite thing I've ever said?
Well, first, I was so happy to be able to edit the podcast because I already listened to it. So I don't know if you lost a listener that day.
I know.
Scott was pretty pissed about that.
I know.
You
And
lost
listen,
a listener because now I listen to it raw, uncut, and do the editing.
Like a non-Jewish baby.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, the cut that was getting annoying at first because I was like, at first it was like, all right. Originally it was Alex cut that and that was real. That was it. Then it became a joke. And then I wasn't sure if it was a joke. And Chris can attest. I had to text him multiple nights.
He would message me every
Chris,
single time.
am I cutting or not cutting? What is happening? And now it's to the point where I can tell if I should or should not cut things based on what is exactly said. So it's a lot easier now, but it took a little bit to get into a groove of knowing. I love editing Sarah's audio because I can cut out so much at once But then, I have that
Is
one
that
little
just
area.
a dead silence?
Dead silence for so long. And then I know, Sarah's coming up. She's going to speak for a little bit. And I know it's always going to be good.
I have to tell myself sometimes that I have to audibly laugh because I actually am a silent laugher. And so I'll see myself on the screen laughing and then I'm like, they're never going to see that. So make it
so
audible.
Funny. I've never noticed that.
Yeah, sometimes I gotta be like, wait, did Sarah laugh? I gotta turn that up. I gotta make sure people hear that she actually vocalized her laughter there.
So here's some peeling behind the curtain or moving the curtain or whatever.
Yeah, sounds about right.
One of the very first episodes that Alex edited, something happened with the audio where someone's audio didn't cut. Something happened. I don't remember what it was. But essentially, Alex had sent me the finished thing, but it was missing someone's audio. So he had to go through and give me the timestamps. It was like Sarah's.
Oh, that was a few weeks in. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, he had to give me the timestamps of every time of when I needed to put in a Sarah laugh, a Sarah saying something, and I had to manually put in Sarah's audio to where it belonged.
I'll just send you a laugh track if you want. Just like a different styles of anywhere from like a chuckle.
Sarah would laugh at this.
Yeah. From a chuckle to like a boisterous laugh, and just you pick the range that you feel fits perfectly and go from there.
Sounds great.
It's such a good idea.
Just watch the video and you'll see when I am actually laughing, and then it'll be legitimate.
I have cut laughter and put it somewhere else because I thought it didn't fit where it was. And
this was a way funnier joke.
You know what? The laughter they did was like too far back, so I have to bring it up. So I was like, I'll just use laughter later on.
Alex, I have a question for you. What's one editing decision or thing that you did in the episode that you never told Scott about that maybe you would have felt bad about, or just did something that you look back on like, I shouldn't have done that, but I'm not going to say anything? Was there ever a moment like that?
I don't know. I'm not really, because I try not to cut anything that isn't obviously need to be cut. Because I know Scott wants to have very last say on how the edit is edited. So really? Yeah. Well, I mean, just what I think, because he doesn't tell me to edit anything other than just make it cleaner,
right?
Which is I do. I don't like rearrange anything or anything like that. So not really, other than me having an issue because I tried to do it 1.5 speed editing to make it faster on myself, and then when I got done editing, I was like, oh no, I can't export this. It's 1.5 speed, which I listen to my podcast at 1.25 speed. I can tell you on my app. I mean, I've listened to the podcast and I've saved like days of my life by listening to it at that speed. So when I editing, I was like, oh, this is awesome. I can listen to it a little faster and get it done a little earlier. And then when I got done, I was like, oh, I can't undo it, and it all stays the same. Funny story about that is that the sophisticated gentleman had to come up with an equation to figure out how to convert the 1.25 speed podcast back to regular speed. Yeah, he did. It worked out because I was able to do it, but that's really funny. He did do that.
No, Alex has done a really good job with like he'll message me asking me a question, or he does something a little bit different. He's like, hey, what do you think about this? There was definitely more questions at the beginning, but now it's just kind of a seamless process. And there's a lot of times when I'll make notes within the episode where I'm like, Alex, move this here, and he does it flawlessly. Now, one thing that I don't even know if he knows, but there have been some editing mishaps that, like, sometimes if it's like a big thing and I need him to redo it, I'll tell him, but a lot of times I just fix it. Like where it'll be missing an entire section of someone's audio. And it's like not a very long one, but just a minute. And I'm like, well, I'll just go pull this off Riverside, or it cuts off the end of the episode. And then I'm like, okay, well, I'll just cut it off. But I have anxiety about telling him that, like, hey, you made a mistake. I'll just fix it.
Now it's out there. There you go.
I don't have people tell me mistakes. I'm not laid back at all.
The best, yeah, right. The best is when, because Alex also edits into the Disneyverse. The best is when Alex leaves in like a curse word on it.
Not even a real curse word.
Well, it was a real curse word to you. Wasn't it like bullshit or something?
Yeah, and I was like, and sophisticated gentleman was like, oh my God, Alex left in a curse word. And someone said the F word during that episode, and I had to cut it out. And I thought I left it in, and we posted it. but it was only bullshit. And I was like, wait, what? That's fine. And they're like, no, it's not fine. I was like, really? And then I had to fix it on like a Monday evening and re-upload the episode.
Oh yeah.
I like Alex's the little Easter eggs that he'll put into an episode.
The best.
Where maybe he'll respond to something very quickly. Like sometimes you don't even really like when I was talking about Ding Dong Ditch and it being called N-word knocking.
Yes,
and
that was insane.
And Chris says, what? And then you hear Alex go, what?
Because like it's so annoying because I'll be editing these podcasts and I'll be like, oh my God, what? And I'll say something and I'll be like, oh man, I should like send Scott information about like how I feel about what they're talking about.
Well,
I get so into it.
I love when you do that. I love when you put your own little touch on some things and put your own little voiceover in there, because I think it's really funny and it's really good, and especially like fact checking us. And like I was under the impression that we weren't going to be fact checked on this podcast, but
well, I'll do it more often. And then when the episode comes out, and every 2 seconds I'm speaking.
It's like 3 hours long. How come we got this episode done like an hour and a half? That's crazy.
You know, speaking of Sarah's laugh track or moving laughs around. So I don't know if I told anybody this, but one of the first episodes of After Dark that we did when I decided that I'm going to do Scott's summaries. So one of them, it just wasn't very good. They weren't very good. And I'm like, well, I sound like an idiot. So I just found Nick and Chris's laughs throughout the episode. And I found 3 different laughs that I put together in different ways after each joke, just so I could make myself seem funny.
That's funny.
Now we can finally tell you we knew. It was very unorganic.
Yeah, I know. You know what's funny is in chat, and don't wreck yourself. Ryan is notorious for this. You know, he'll listen to an episode, you know, a week later or whatever, but then he'll start making comments about things that we said, and I don't remember what we said.
Yeah, it's
and
always very confusing.
What are you talking about? But I love that. I love
that's great
referencing that kind of stuff.
I'm glad I'm not the only one. Like he'll say something and I just don't respond because I'm not comfortable. He's like, I should remember this because I was probably the one that said it.
I know.
Like he talked about something about arguing about science or something like that. I was like,
yeah,
I have no idea.
He's like, I almost threw something across the room because both of you were wrong. I'm like,
I was like,
what?
I don't have the slightest clue. Of what
Nick and I have a good reason not to remember these things, but what about you guys?
Yeah, when you guys bring up past things, I'm surprised how much you guys remember because I don't remember anything ever.
I always just pretend to agree with Scott. Like, oh yeah, episode 167 when he said this, like, oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Well, okay, I used to
keep a diary.
You know, no, well, I do have a notebook that either I'm writing new ideas in or recapping an episode, but I used to edit the whole thing. And then when I uploaded it on the host, listen to the whole thing again to make sure it sounds right. Then I would listen to it in my car to make sure it sounds okay in the car before it gets published. So I have already now listened to an episode 3 times before it even publishes.
Wow.
And then once it comes out, I used to listen to it on YouTube, iHeart, and Apple. So I would listen to each episode 6 times.
That's pre-crime.
Right. Now I don't even listen to the edit. I'm like, Alex has this. I just need to find cliff notes to put the music in.
I make mistakes all the time.
So but now what I do is I send Darren the advanced copy and then I put it on for our select tiers of our clubhouse.
Yeah. Darren, here's early release for you.
Darren's like, really? Early release? Sweet. He was
an early release. So
I was an early release too. I was a month and a half early.
Oh no, I didn't pull out in time, Alex.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. People sometimes don't plan their children, unlike me.
Sorry, Darren. But yeah, that's how I knew so much of what was in each episode. And
I would do it.
What's that?
I said that would do it, I guess.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't know if that's true. My wife tells me things 6 times and I don't remember it.
Oh, you've got the worst memory. The absolute
really
worst
bad.
memory. You and
It's
the
really
other guy
bad.
that used to host Diz I don't remember his name.
Alex
He had a
is
terrible
way
memory.
worse. Alex in our Disneyverse chat today forgot the name of a guest who's been on
I'm bad
twice.
with names. I'm bad.
And
She
that's-
hasn't been on Disneyverse twice.
And that's a Patreon member.
I mean, that doesn't.
And she doesn't
I'm
listen
bad
to
with
the
names.
podcast.
I'm bad with names. I'm sorry.
She is. She's
Terrible
bad.
with names.
Bad with names, bad with song titles,
Oh, I'm terrible at
bad
retention of anything titles. Yes.
with bad with memories.
It's great at editing.
So bad.
though. It's great
So
at
bad.
Very
Just-
great at editing.
I
Great
told my wife, I
voice.
said, I'm going to have Alzheimer's. It runs in my family. I'm just getting it early, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, you're getting Youngstimers.
Yeah. Midlife timers.
There you go. There you go. But back to the time capsule thing. Like we've been able to kind of encapitate.
Yeah, that sounds. No.
Yeah. I kind of want to dig up a time capsule, Scott.
We
Speaking
should
of
do a time capsule,
yeah.
but
I do
our
wanna
lives
dig, I want to dig a time capsule up because I just realized that a few weeks ago I talked about how I had pee in my blood at my physical, a little speck of blood.
interesting
and-
choice on the segue. I was going to go a different route, but
Oh,
hey,
well, you know what?
you
Hey,
do you, boo.
I need to address this. So I went and got it checked out. They said 2 weeks and I was stressed about it. So I waited 4.
and we showed so much concern, and we didn't check on you at all.
Yeah, you were all telling me you got to go,
Completely-
man. You got
You
to go.
never told
Yeah.
me. This is
Completely
news to me.
forgot about it.
You heard it on the edit, so I figured that you would ask me. So anyway,
I
so I was at my
completely
physical-
forgot about it. Obviously,
Yeah.
spoiler alert, I don't listen to the episode 6 times anymore.
Yeah, I didn't forget about it because it's my infection from 2021 is back. Was it 21? I don't know. When did they get
What?
married again? When did they get married?
2021.
Yeah.
Are we
Oh,
doing
it's
this
great.
again? We're going to debate when you got married?
Yeah. So I got the. Let me call
Yeah,
my
we
wife.
did that in
She will
episode
ignore my
200
call
and-
again. So I had that prostate infection. Remember, I got the finger stuck out my butt. I got finger banged at the
Right.
doctor.
Didn't know you had a
Right.
prostate infection. Just heard that there was a little bit of blood in your urine.
Yep. Did talk, well. So listen. So I had the same symptoms again. I was like, you know what? I bought that $550 chair before. I know it's not my chair this time. So I know it's the infection. So a little bit of cramping in the bladder.
Oh my God,
So
I forgot about the $550
Oh
chair.
yeah, I did. I'm sitting on it right now.
Yeah.
It's
That
great. It's a great chair.
you're in right now is $550.
Plus tax.
Are you serious right now?
Yeah.
And what was
Oh,
the
yeah.
hold on, we have to revisit
Okay,
that for
so
a second.
just to revisit. So, for people who haven't listened or forgot, back in 2021, really bad pain in my groin area. So I was like, it's definitely from podcasting and playing video games in this $30 chair.
What else would it be from?
My brother, exactly. So my brother-in-law, future brother-in-law now, he had this really nice Secret Labs chair, so which is what I'm sitting on right now, the Titan by Secret Labs, size small, and so I looked into it. And
Kids large.
I saw it was $550. Like that's a lot of money. And then I saw it was like, but you could break it down into 4 payments. So
There you
okay,
go.
well
Yeah.
now it's not that expensive. So I bought the chair.
That's how that works.
Came in, got the chair,
Came in, Nick?
and a month later, groin pain is still there, and now it's starting to other symptoms are starting to arise. That is definitely not chair related. So, burning while urination.
Usually
That
an
was the
STD.
symptoms. Yeah, and I knew it was an STD.
And what was,
Are you sure?
What ended up being,
Yeah.
it ended up being something stupid, right?
It was a prostate infection, which is basically a glorified UTI.
Oh, that's right. And
Yeah.
then you had to do the prostate. That was right before the
Got
Father's Day
banged
episode.
and then-
yeah.
Yeah, which I just
So when
learned
Chris
is like
became a man.
when I am, which is I found it's just like a glorified, like a really glorified urinary tract infection. It's like a guy's urinary tract infection. So anyway, so starting to get the same symptoms.
Guys can
like,
get urinary tract infections.
yeah, but this one's advanced. This one's an advanced one. This is like a urinary tract infection plus. It's
Just
like
drink
the,
cranberry juice.
I did, dude. I tried. So when I first started the feeling, I was like, I remember the urologist told me to just take ibuprofen and take baths, which was weird. I feel weird taking baths. I don't like sitting my naked ass on the bathtub.
Okay.
Wait, what's that's gonna do?
I
Did he
don't
tell
know.
you to videotape it and send it to him too?
It was a her. It was a her. Yes, actually. Why did you know that?
How have we not talked about baths before on this podcast? Sorry to derail.
It's okay. It's all right.
We're about to, yeah. So I've never understood the whole bath thing. Like, it looks super hot in the movies when the women do it. Sarah, do you bath?
It's not that. No, not unless not. Well,
not unless she's a prostate infection.
Yes, bath. No, I suppose.
Okay.
Not unless I'm like really sick, and it's really not. I'm not bathing. It's more of a comfort thing.
Mm.
But exactly that. Like,
but
like,
very rarely.
Nobody's going into the bathtub to take a bath and then not jumping in the shower afterwards.
My child every night.
No, yeah.
Well, yes, children do. Yes,
yeah,
but like
acceptable.
As adults, we're not going.
Is it still, childlike when she sets up like charcuterie board and a candle and all of her face products and then has a bathrobe afterwards? Like, I don't know if that still classifies as a 10-year-old.
I mean, maybe not. But I took my first adult bath probably within the last year.
Yeah, horrible, right?
Yeah, I'm just like, this is not sexy at all. Like, this is not what I've seen in the movies. Yes, Sarah.
Singularly, though, of course. You're alone.
Please, of course. Yes, of course. I took a singular bath.
I don't want to assume on your behalf, Scott.
That is true.
You just should.
I was hopeful.
Scott
I was hopeful for you.
There, Sarah. He can't fit another human being in there.
Well, I was going to say, remember I told you wedding night, we spent an evening in a jacuzzi tub with champagne and Jurassic World. And that was a fantastic experience.
Yeah, but Scott said bath, not Olympic pool.
Listen, we have a really big bathtub in our room. Our bedroom.
I believe
for an average sized person, you're right.
Was there bubbles, Scott?
Yeah, I mean, it's got the jets. It's like a really.
Did you add bubbles?
By farting, no.
Come on, man.
Or bubble bath, soap bubbles.
Yes, bubble bath.
Yes, because I wanted it to be like in the movies where I could go like this and then I was exposed. And to those of you who are hearing the podcast and not seeing it, I rubbed my breast.
I always see like you're looking at your wife and go, look what I could do. Like this. She's like, nobody wants to see that. What are you doing?
You have no idea, Alex, how true you are. So I wanted it to be as sexy as possible. Like, I've seen this in the movies. I put on some Sports Center. I have a television in my bathroom. I laid in the tub. I got the bubbles. I added the bubbles. I got the bubble jets going. Yeah. And I'm like, this is not hot at all. Like, why is there a penis in here? That was not in the movies.
The fact you were doing that for yourself is alarming.
I don't think so. I used to take baths all the time in high school because it's a good thing after sports. Like after a basketball game, I'd go home and take a bath because I wanted to soak my soak in the bath.
That's why Scott does that when he walks up the steps. He needs to soak. He needs to rest the muscles.
Chris, you have no idea. When I walk upstairs, I'll lay down after walking upstairs, and Rachel's is like, "Are you okay?" And because I'm out of breath, and she's like, "What is wrong with you?" I said, "I just walked upstairs." And
your Apple Watch starting to suggest an EKG because it sees the elevated heart rate.
So I'm glad you brought that up. I actually don't wear my Apple Watch anymore because one day it gave me like a heart notification.
Yeah,
like some rhythm is off. You should probably get that checked out. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, fake news. I haven't worn it since.
See, that's why that's exactly why I didn't go.
Listen, if I don't get the alerts, then I don't know that I'm having a heart attack.
This person's like, this person's like, there's a speck of blood in your pee. Like a speck. That sounds like a user error to me. Then I started getting the symptoms. Like maybe I should go, and then I was forced to go by my significant other, aka my wife.
But you knew what it was.
So yeah, but I was like, I don't know. I always think I have cancer. Whenever I had something,
that's what my wife does.
That's what I was going to say. I always think I'm on the verge of death.
She starts with cancer and works her way back. That's her method.
That's usually what I do.
My biggest fear in life is you getting cancer. I cannot lose you off this show.
I know, and that's why I didn't want to disappoint you, and that's why I didn't go to urgent care. So I did finally go to urgent care. And I go to urgent care, and I explain to them. I'm telling them what to give me, and they complied. And they're like, yeah, I need this for this many days. Like, that many days? Like, I don't know what to tell you. That's what I took before. So anyway, so I thought everything was good. And then she's like, do you mind if I just take a look down there? I'm thinking, like, what do I say? No? It's like, yeah, sure.
Hey, let me shave.
What the?
Hey.
Whoa,
Can you hear me?
yeah.
Hello?
How'd you get here?
Oh.
Wait, I thought you were in Jamaica.
I was at a Jamaica meeting, but in Columbus, Ohio.
Wow, that was very misleading.
And I travel by map now, so I just got home really fast. And I don't know what you guys were talking about bathtubs or something in the car. I don't know what's going on right now. But I'm here. I made it.
Okay.
Before I go on with my serious medical story, would you you have a bath story for us?
I do have a bath story. That's why I was rushing home, because I'm like, you guys are talking about bathtubs. I'm listening to this in the car, and if you want to listen,
ran over 3 kids and a dog on the way.
Don't care. I felt a couple of bumps. And if you want to listen to it while we record live, I was listening on YouTube, guys. How cool was that?
Oh, sweet.
So I could listen while you were recording.
I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, it's magic.
I mean, we say it every week.
You do say it. I don't know if you said it yet or not, because I missed that part.
Probably.
Did you talk about a hurricane at all?
No, off it. Well, we said that the reason why our schedule's messed up is because of a hurricane.
Okay.
We breezed over it just like it's going to.
So back to the bathtub story. So,
yes, back to bathtubs.
I feel like, I'm under the consensus. None of you really are huge bath fans.
Not unless I have a prostate infection.
I like baths. I'm just don't have time to take a bath.
I am not.
So apparently,
I don't like my ass in the tub thing.
So it must be a gay thing then, because we love soaking in the bathtub.
It's a gay thing and a woman thing, I think.
No, I don't like it, Nick.
I like baths.
Selective
I
woman
like
thing.
them.
But
I
it's
don't
not
have time.
I mean, does anybody have time? Let's be honest.
So Alex, you'll set up the candles and the incense and all that?
Incest,
no, you just run water, and then you get in the warm water and wash yourself.
Are we just going to breeze over the fact that Scott has incest in his bath?
Incense. So Alex, hold on. You draw yourself a bath, do the bubbles, bathe, wash yourself, and then you get out?
No, I just hang out. One time in my early 20s, I set up my TV and I played video games WoW in the bath.
That's hot.
So
I play with myself in the bath, but
he plays with his own joystick.
Yeah.
So, but what do you do in the bath now, Alex?
Now, I haven't had a bath in a long time. I'm just saying, Nick's saying no one here likes baths. I like baths. I just don't take them anymore.
I don't know.
Maybe I'll revisit them soon.
For me, it's like I'm disgusted by how I look naked. I want to be in and out of the shower as quickly as possible.
Oh, no. I like looking myself naked. I'm a big fan.
Really?
Sarah, how do you feel about looking at yourself naked? I need to know from a woman's perspective.
Normally awesome. I've lost a lot of weight recently, unfortunately. So that, not as much lately, but we're working on it.
I would love to work on gaining weight.
I know.
I'd love to work towards that and be like, I need this.
It's actually so incredibly difficult for me.
I had a friend in middle school. The doctor was like, you need to drink milkshakes at night. And I was like, I hate you.
I could totally do that. I bet Steak and Shake's still open.
She's like, I drink a Lewis shake.
No, at least until tomorrow midday, they should be open. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chris and I can give you pointers. We'll help you gain some weight.
Please do. Because I have got 3 apps right now that I'm doing different things to try and gain weight. So
I eat 3 apps before dinner.
I think that's it.
I used to be able to do that.
Sarah, it's funny. The last couple times I've been hanging, and I didn't want to be weird. I was going to ask you if you're working out and actively losing weight, and then I was going to make fun of you for trying to lose weight.
No, that was the choice to put ADHD under control. But unfortunately, medications have really awful side effects sometimes. So,
well, damn, I need to develop ADHD and get. What's the name of your medicine? Just for a friend.
Yeah. Okay.
So Nick, what was a funny bath story you have?
Yeah, I was like, are we ever going to get to me? Hello.
I was almost there, and then Scott
We were just talking about how great we look without clothes. Continue, Nick.
Yes. So, I mean, I guess recently Sean and I shared a nice soaker tub in our suite in Mexico, and
makes sense.
They drew a bath for us, but it's not like you're washing yourself in there. You're just soaking.
They drew a bath?
our butler did.
Whoa, they come in. Did they see your penis?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Did they see your peni?
Yeah, I think that's plural for, I don't know.
Yeah, I think so.
I think you just call it a gangbang at that point. When there's multiple.
Yeah, I think it's. Yeah. I think that's somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, they drew a bath for us, but I feel like anytime we like to soak in the bathtub, and then that's when we get into freaky dicky time.
You mean freaky dicky time?
Maybe, yeah. All the dickies. Yeah, but we back up to another time that I took a trip.
So he did a lot of backing up.
I sat in a soaker tub with two guys at the same time.
Really?
Yeah.
Big tub.
It was a very giant
big tub or midgets.
No.
Wow, you can't say that.
I can. I can.
They're decent.
We really need a black guy on this show.
We do. And a lesbian.
And a midget.
Because then we can use all the slurs.
You use them anyway. I don't know why.
Nothing's stopping you. Just Alex cutting that at the end. Yeah. So I like the bathtub. It turns me on. It makes me excited at nighttime. So it's a nice end of the day type thing to just chill out and get excited. And found two guys in Mexico at my resort that were like, "Hey, we got a bathtub. Do you want to join us?" So we literally sat in the bathtub for about an hour. Ordered room service. We had a lot to drink that night, and let us
come. I'm sorry.
And then there was a little bit of that.
I didn't even mean to say that. I just came out. No pun intended. No pun intended. No pun intended.
Well, he said it in this case. But.
Yeah, sorry. That's what they both said.
But they both said it. Yeah, multiple times. It was a long night. It was a good night. Yeah.
Nick went skiing that night.
I did. Went. Yeah.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, we've talked about this when you got the two peni in each hand.
Scott, can you put your hands in?
Yeah, we can't see it in the frame.
Yeah.
Or milking a cow.
We don't do that. No. But I did try to start a fire one time, but I think we talked about that too.
Oh,
milking is its own thing.
Trying to think. Oh, I get it. I get it.
Rubbing the two sticks together, Chris.
Yeah. I use a lighter usually and some lighter fluid. Anyway.
Back to
blood in your urine.
Yeah, back to
my
blood.
speck of blood. Yeah. So I called bullshit, but
what?
The ball don't lie.
Ball.
Okay.
So the doctor says
balls, Nick.
Who's a very young woman, by the way. Is
how does that happen? I've never had a young woman doctor who does the
That's because you're on a list.
So she comes in and she does the examination. Not she does the examination. She asks to do an examination. I'm like, yeah, I guess. Like, what am I going to say? No.
Like, can I shave for a minute?
And then I was like, yeah, sure. And she peeks out the door and yells down, "Can I get a chaperone?" I was like, chaperone?
Well, yeah, she's a woman, you're a male.
What is?
And she thought you were a kid.
Like, what?
She's like, "Where's his parents?"
Yeah, and when no one came, she goes, "Isn't your parent down the hall?" No. So anyway, so a guy comes in and just stands there with his arms crossed like a bouncer, and he was wearing a Phillies hat. So I drop my pants, drop my underwear. She's looking around. I just look at the guy. I was like, "Yeah, so how about those Phillies?" Like, what am I supposed to do? And he didn't even look at me. He didn't even say anything. I guess the chaperone's just supposed to stare at the wall. What was the chaperone even doing there?
He was looking in the opposite direction?
Yeah, the chaperone was kind of being negligent. That woman could have done whatever she wanted to me. That chaperone wouldn't have even
and I would have let her.
He wasn't even paying attention.
He should be crouched down, leaning towards the game, like paying attention.
So you would think, right? You would think.
Like coach on the sideline.
Yeah, like
if I ever get a woman doctor to do those types of exams, I'm going to say, is there a waiver that I don't need the chaperone? Because I'm good with that.
They were like, "Can I do the exam?" I said, "Can you give me 7 minutes?" So
need a fluffer.
So pull up the pants. Everything's good. And she leaves. She's like, I'm going to prescribe you these antibiotics for the infection. And they leave. They come back in, and this other woman comes back in with a thing of paperwork. And she goes, now we don't want you playing basketball or doing any sports or anything while you're on this. And I was like,
he's like,
why?
You do know that I ruptured my Achilles, right? Have you not heard that story?
So they asked me if I had any surgeries, and I said, well, funny, so you should ask. And I played them episodes 112 through 135 of the No New Friends podcast.
Only a couple.
So I said, yeah, I had Achilles tendon repaired. So anyway, they come back in. So they're like, yeah, we don't want you to play any basketball. And I thought it was like a funny joke, like, Achilles tendon joke, huh? And I was like, are you serious? And she's like, yeah. One of the side effects of this antibiotic is Achilles tendonitis.
What? Wait a second.
Like, how?
Hold on. When you tore your Achilles, were you on this medication?
I was trying to think about that. And no, I was not. But I should say yes for content. No, I was not. But yeah, just my luck that I get this like hard to get infection, get put on a antibiotic for a month because it takes that long, and it causes Achilles tendonitis. So anyway, I was feeling really, really bad about myself. So I scheduled another appointment at urgent care next week to get the same exam done. Hopefully that'll clear my mind. Yeah. So I'm on this medicine for a month now. Can't drink alcohol while on it.
Oh,
I'm just kidding. I just said that because I'm downing beers over here. I'm just kidding. I didn't read the label. If you don't read the label, everything's fine.
Exactly.
And so when that clears up, I'll be good for another couple years.
To play basketball or your penis?
Oh no, I will never be able to play basketball. Those days are gone. Those days are gone. Yeah.
Well, Chris, I'm glad that it's not anything serious. It's just a little bit of an infection, and we're good.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. So, Nick, you missed the beginning of the show.
I did.
Where we talked about what was everybody's favorite moments of No New Friends.
I didn't hear my name mentioned really at all, besides a little bit from Sarah, but
Whoa. I mentioned you a ton.
I missed that part. I'm sorry.
I didn't mention anybody by name. I said the four of us, or the.
I said Nick specifically twice.
I think I joined right when Sarah was telling her part of the story.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Oh, well, I already talked about you. Then.
I did go last as usual. So
Nick always comes late.
They would have put me last and then Sarah before me. So we're used to this order, Scott.
Yeah, we always put Nick on the bottom.
Listen, I usually go in the order that you started with this podcast. So I always go Chris first, then Sarah, then Nick.
Actually,
and then reverse order on the behalf of,
I will say in the comments, I saw Daddy mentioned, and I know that was referring to you, Nick. So
hey,
that's true.
Who's calling me Daddy now? Everybody.
That was Jaws.
Everybody.
That was your legal name.
But I was gonna say that specifically was for you, so you were missed.
Aw, thank you, everybody. I love being everybody's daddy. I'm just not a sugar daddy.
So,
sorry, go ahead.
Nick, favorite moment of the podcast?
When I'm not here? No.
That's
no, just favorite moment.
That's funny.
From,
I like that.
It could be from episode. Oh,
that was a joke, Scott.
No, I don't like that. Alex, cut that.
Don't.
I'm already marking it on my paper.
I don't know. I love the After Dark just because we got to get serious, and I feel like that's where you found me and I found me, and Chris and I found our love for each other.
Absolutely.
And it was nice being able to bring it onto the podcast now, because I feel like the past probably few months now we've kind of brought in more mental health into these episodes, and I feel like that's where I specialize in because I'm on all the medications right now. Which thanks for asking about my psychiatrist appointment tomorrow.
Okay.
You should know my schedule.
One, didn't know you had a psychiatrist appointment tomorrow.
I didn't even know.
Yeah.
Two, in the middle of preparing for a Category 3 hurricane.
Oh, you're in the middle of the state. Crimea River. You actually could Crimea River because they're going to get flooded.
Yeah.
I'll take that name, though, Nick.
What'd you say, Sarah?
I said, I'll take that name, though.
Yeah. I don't understand why you're not that busy. Let's be honest. There's nothing happening.
Nothing.
Yeah. I don't know. I just
going live.
I forgot Scott lived in Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
It was like 45 minutes away from Tampa.
If you're driving like super fast, maybe. Those roads are not easy. Favorite part of I feel like the conversations that we have and just make it real conversations, but the fact that we can just laugh about the funny shit that happens in our lives.
Yeah.
Because we've all been going through a lot lately, and it's like a couple episodes ago when we were like had a conversation afterwards and hung out for a little bit and just building those friendships that we bring to the podcast and get to share our parts of the story now in our lives. And I don't know, I love the bond that we've formed. So there's no specific episode, I guess.
Great answer.
Yeah.
And I am so super thankful.
And world peace.
And world.
Yeah, exactly. Especially
I'm so super thankful for all four of you. And when Darren's on, and what we talked about is that the fact that none of us knew each other 4 years ago, and how tight we all are now. And it's from a friend perspective, I'm super grateful for all of you, but also from just a pure comedy perspective, you guys are all geniuses, comedic geniuses in your own right. And I appreciate all of you, all four of you, Darren when he's here, Game Master Ryan, Sophisticated Gentleman, everybody that contributes to the show in different ways. I love it, and I'm so thankful for all of you.
I'd say my favorite part is actually when I sent you an audio clip for tonight because I knew I wasn't going to be on. And I was like, hey, can you play this audio clip? And I was waiting for the right moment, and you actually had a good moment earlier that I was waiting for you to transition. But you know what? Just play it. Hello. Hey, stop talking. Chris, it's not about you. Actually, it's me. It's Nick. It's your emotional support gay. And listen, I'm sorry I couldn't be there tonight, but Scott insisted on recording tonight instead of our normal Wednesday night because of a hurricane. I don't really understand why he wanted to push it back, but unfortunately I wasn't able to make it tonight. So I decided, you know what? I've had enough of whatever you're talking about and move. I'm gay.
Nick's on the mic, so it's time to take notice. And if you don't like it, that's homophobic. Stay the hell out of his way. Move, I'm gay.
All right, so since I can't be there tonight, I figured we had a little fun last week playing a gay game. That stands for game, but gay. So let's play another gay. Tonight, let's talk about Grindr. So we talked about it in the past, and I know Chris is on Grindr all the time. I'm on Grindr. I have an open relationship. We get on there to make other friends and chat with other guys and do a little bit of flirting. So my question for you guys as a straight heterosexual, I don't really know. What are you guys? Anyways, as non-LGBTQ plus people, what would be a good pickup line for me to use?
Ooh.
If you give me a good pickup line, I might use it on my next hookup, and I'll let you know how it goes. So I expect really, really good responses here.
I have a perfect one.
Go for it.
My dick just died. Do you mind if I bury it in your ass?
I like a little dark.
Okay.
And yeah.
All right. Alex, do you have a
It's like frisky fun.
line?
I do not. I'm trying to think of something funny, but I cannot think of.
Actually,
a
Alex
single
gave me
thing.
that line. He told me that the first time I met him.
That's true. I did say that. I said something about. I was thinking about something about. I can see you inside of me, but I can't think of how that would transition.
How about
Are you an X-ray tech? Because I can see the inside of you. In me.
Are you a doctor?
about-
Because you can fuck me in my ass.
I say to my doctor every time I see them, actually.
how about I'm a vacation planner. When can I plan our next vacation?
It's like
That's a little strong.
That's like how
trying
you
to-
take your eggs in the morning. But
Are you trying to get me
for a
laid
vacation.
or just a client, or because it wasn't going to get me laid there?
Both. Okay, Sarah, your best pickup line for Nick.
Okay, I have a 12-year-old sitting behind me, so let me just say that
okay, perfect.
Personally, from my experience,
Scott's like, that's usually when I say my pickup lines.
turning my headphone down just in case. Listen, Nick, just choose a select few choice, I'll put it that way, Spanish words.
Okay.
A little extra roll in the R and just hope to God that works. It does every time, for the record.
Spoiler alert, it does. It works.
It does every time.
Good.
All right.
You ever just try sending a picture of your penis? And that's like what you that's what you lead with?
Well, I'll let you play.
Here, let me save us some time. Here's what it looks like.
There's another clip.
Sorry, wrong person. Unless
there's another clip that I want you to play with my response to what if I wasn't going to be here, which I didn't plan on being here. So this is fun doing it live.
Okay, here it is. Nick, I wonder what you think. Did you get any good ones from us?
So I can't wait to hear what you guys chose as a pickup line, because in the gay world, there really isn't much thing as a pickup line. We just kind of get straight to the point. Usually I'll get messages like, hey, or are you looking? Or do you want to come over and I will lick your feet for money? Yeah, these are real things that have actually happened to us. So I appreciate your responses. Probably not going to use them. Maybe Chris's. I think it's probably pretty good. So anywho, I hope you guys have an amazing episode. I'm sorry I can't be there tonight. And just shout out and huge thoughts to everybody going through this tragic hurricane right now. Really my thoughts and prayers. And it's something that I don't really pray. We'll cut that out. Alex cut that. So anywho, hope you guys have a great episode and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye, bitches.
See, I say hey and I get blocked. It's weird.
Yeah, Grindr, you can just send a dick pic and that just gets you anything you want at that point. Yeah.
Is that not part of just your initial photo album?
So
I would think that would just be like picture of you in Speedo, and then picture of just
Grindr. You have your public
appendage.
pictures, and then you have your private ones. So you can just share the private album right away, and that's just basically like
your secret stash.
Yeah, it's like here's what I am. Here's what I'm looking for.
I might have asked you this before, but is there a go-to position for nudes for you?
Oh.
Is the camera on the floor and you take the picture with your big toe? Is it, then you get like the whole undercarriage. That's like when I'm inspecting a car, that I'm buying a car, like I want to see the undercarriage, right? So
like the taint?
Sure, you get both,
I feel
right?
like he has a specific Speedo pose, so there's got to be.
Yeah, I mean, I have my new Speedo pose with me in a pool in a picture, or with pizza.
Yeah. Emily called that, by the way.
Yeah,
I didn't want to.
It's my new look. I feel.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I do like the selfies where you're like holding it up and then angling it down. But now with the iPhone, you can like zoom out like 1,800 times, so it makes it might help make Scott look like micro-sized at that point. But I mean, I don't want to be too huge.
Scott looks like Mr. Peanut.
Yeah. With a little monocle.
No, I was talking about his penis.
Oh.
Anyway.
Yeah, probably my go-to is more just like a selfie, but like cutting off the head. Well, the face, not the head. Keeping the head.
So it's everything else.
Important. Yeah. Do
you hold it? Do you position it? Do you just let it hang?
Sometimes I'll do like the timer. I did the timer when I was in Mexico for a few.
What does that mean?
Where you set your phone up and you press like the 10-second timer and then you run and
so you do like a little pose.
Yeah.
I can't keep it up that long.
The phone or your dick or both?
Yes.
Well, actually, with Fuel Rod, your phone can.
Scott's like, I need 30 seconds to catch my breath from walking 5 feet.
I think there's a 30-second timer. It gives him time to get over there and catch his breath. Sorry, Scott.
Smoke a cigarette, have a beer. He's gotta get prepared for it. Yeah, that's why my go-to one. Selfies or like I've not tried the toe trick. You're gonna have to teach me that tonight.
Yeah. Well, when you open up your FaceTime, you're just gonna see what the doctor at urgent care saw the other day. You won't get the chaperone view this time. You'll get the examiner's view.
Oh, can I be your chaperone next time?
Of course,
please.
It works. It works.
You better not stare at the wall.
Chris, you got any Cliff Notes?
I do.
It's been quite the show. A lot of stuff's happened, so nothing can stop this little boy from recapping the day the Chris's Cliff's Notes way.
Sarah was talking about how she needs to gain weight. Sarah, I have some advice for you. Try being prescribed Zoloft and then tearing your Achilles tendon. I heard that works really, really well. This is such a bad one. This is so bad. But I'm going to say it anyway. Nick said that he was rushing home. Actually, Biden just signed another executive order. Now you have to say you're Ukraine home.
Oh my God.
That was so stupid.
Oh, man.
Nick said that we have all been going through a lot lately, and I would tend to agree with that. Sarah, Nick, and I are all struggling with mental health. Scott's struggling with getting glasses. Thoughts and prayers to you, Scott.
I thought you were going to say regular health.
Scott, you're starting to look normal with your glasses.
I know.
Like,
It's
that's
weird.
what
when I
Chris
first
said last
saw
week,
you,
yeah.
when I first saw you, I was like, "Oh my God, who's that?" I was like, "Oh, that's Scott."
Yeah, if I take them off now.
If he takes them off, the examiner is, I pulled down my
Yeah.
pants and the examiner's like, is that Scott Maffei? And oh, never mind. It's just,
Do you have this now, Scott, where your wife goes, "You know what? I might prefer you with the glasses."
No, she'd prefer if I wasn't here.
Yeah, because I go, my wife's like, "I like you with glasses and a beard." I was like, "So you don't see it into my face?" Is that what you're saying?
I'm sorry, Alex, but that's a true thing because Lewis actually broke his glasses one time and it was a very dark period. He's got them back now, so it's okay.
We only had sex 3 times a day instead of 4.
He trimmed his beard and then lost his glasses. I didn't know what to do with myself.
it was a dark period because Sarah required all the lights to be off in the house. Well, this is how you look like that. Nick said he gets messages on Grindr that say, "Can I lick your feet for money?" Nick, that wasn't Grindr. I texted you that and I never asked for money. I never asked for a single penny from you. And lastly, we started off the podcast talking about favorite memories of the show. And in all honesty, not being cheesy or anything, my favorite episode is always going to be the next one. And that's because I haven't had to suffer through it yet. And those are my Cliff Notes.
You can quit at any time, asshole.
No, I can't. I really can't. No, I can't. No,
you can't.
Scott knows where I live. Actually, he doesn't, because if he did, he'd send me my damn package that he owes me from 2 years ago.
Have we ever talked about that on air?
I don't think so, because I didn't know the implications of said package. We could talk about it. We could pretend it was anything, though.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah. Okay, so, yeah, we really can't talk about that. That's why we haven't talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
And it's the funniest reason ever why we can't talk about it. It's nothing. It's like not illegal even in the slightest. It's just
No.
personal.
Yeah, I just bottom line, I was able to buy Chris some stuff that he didn't have access to, and I was able to buy it
that he didn't need.
And
Scott probably has it sitting on his shelf. He's probably wearing it.
It's sitting in a box.
And it'd be great to talk about because I probably can't even fit into that stuff anymore.
Well, we're talking about it right now. We're talking about it right now.
It's fine.
It's sitting in a box, waiting to be said. Chris sent me a shipping label.
Yeah.
Chris sent me the money.
Mm-hmm.
What?
It's
Yeah,
just
You have to
sitting.
drop it off, Scott?
Yes, but I'm too damn lazy to do anything.
Yeah.
Like, okay, look, it takes me 6 months to send out prizes.
And not only did Scott, like Rachel messaged me asking about it. Like, how could we get this to you?
And don't you have like 7 house cleaners that can like mail shit for you or something?
They're house cleaners. They're not mail
I would like
people.
the record to
They
reflect.
probably have to clean it off every week.
I offered to be that person for Scott.
The delivery person?
The
The mail
person
dropper
who
offer?
ships the stuff that never gets shipped.
Yeah, but Chris, you can't leave. Sorry.
No, I know. I understand. It's part of the contract.
Yes, Mr.
The
Scott.
life contract.
There you go.
Yes, Jersey Man versus Florida Man will be in the new show, Jaws. Nothing different will be in the new show except for the name and some sound bites and some visuals. Everything else is going to be exactly the same.
I'm actually going to be straight though.
Yeah, Nick. This whole gay
that'd be
thing
funny.
was
That'd be funny if you played off as a character.
Yeah,
the first couple episodes.
Nick, it's a whole. It was a whole bit. He's gonna tear down that rainbow flag in the background. Surprise! Nick's a white nationalist.
But before we end this episode, and next week will be our final No New Friends, where we invite any listener who wants to come on, ask us questions, interact. It should be a fun time.
Should be fun to edit.
Yeah, you're gonna love that one. It'll be there will be a public link in our Discord. You can go to nonewfriendspodcast.com and it pops up right there to join our Discord. And it's free.
We should call it the No New Friends Orgy Goodbye.
We can do that.
It's a really good idea.
But thank you to everyone who's
and then the
been with us.
podcast can be called.
Thank you to everyone who's been on this journey. We've talked several times. This has been a dream of mine, and we're not going away. Just this name is going away. This has been a dream of. It's dead to us, except we're Parents Night Out with No New Friends. So No New Friends is not really going away. It's just the parent.
It's semi-dead. It's like when Lisa Marie Presley kept her dead son in her basement for 3 months. Look it up. That just came out today.
Oh, or it's like when Anne Heche died, but not really.
That's a better reference.
Yeah,
Alex, cut that one. Then I say.
Will do.
But this has been an amazing time. We're switching the name because it's just better for searchability and it makes sense. Nobody's searching adulting. People are searching parenting. They may not want to be parents after they listen to our episode.
Right. Yeah,
we'll see what happens. But to you guys, thank you for being part of this journey. It's been amazing. It's been so much fun. This is when we talk about the cheesy stuff, not at the beginning of the episode. Chris will learn pacing at some point. It's okay.
I'll learn how to podcast one day.
One day. Not
today, though. But
no, I appreciate all of you. Alex, where can our listeners find you?
Just search up Disneyverse, DIZNEYVERSE on all social media platforms as well as YouTube, and check us out.
Nick?
All right, you can find me probably on vacation because unfortunately I won't be here next week while you guys are recording. I'm actually going to be at something that I am super excited to be we talked about it on the podcast. My travel agency, Sandpiper Vacations, we got earmarked this year, which is a huge reward to be recognized by Disney as a authorized Disney vacation planner now. And I'm going to be at my very first earmarked conference next week. Hopefully
that's exciting
if the castle is still standing. So I'll be on vacation next week, but I'm very thankful for you for giving me this opportunity to not only talk about vacations, but about my life and my journey. And I'm happy to be here with you guys. So go find me on Instagram at Emotional Support Gay Nick, as I'm going to be very emotional probably.
Sarah?
You can find me hopefully somewhere still in Central Florida in the next couple days.
You find me in the Gulf of Mexico.
Who knows? You can find me on the TikTok at SuperSarah94, and you can find me on Whatnot. Put that one out there. Yeah.
Ooh.
At the same username, Old Soul Thrift.
Chris?
You can find me in an insane asylum if the Phillies blow this series against the Mets. If they do not, even if they do, you can still find me in memoriam, post-mortem, at Christopher Yob, my legal name, on Whatnot. You can find me at Chris Yob, shorter, on Instagram. You can find me at Chris Yob NNF, which might be Chris Yob Pino pretty soon on TikTok.
And on X, you can just find him Chris Yob and his social security number.
Yeah, I wanted to be creative. One of one.
And don't forget, next week, join us. We'd love to have you on here. Interact with us. Ask questions. We'd love to have you here. For everybody who is recovering from Hurricane Milton, please be safe. You will get through this. Things are tough right now, but things will get better. We're thinking about you. Hell, we could be one of you. I don't know. Alex probably doesn't have a very sturdy house. Just my guess based on the plywood walls behind it.
Yeah, it doesn't look very sturdy.
Looks very sus.
Hey, man. What are you talking about? My house is up to code, I think.
From 1970s. Anyway, but be safe and thoughts and prayers. Don't forget to join our Patreon, our clubhouse, become a friend with benefits. Check out our website to connect with us on all social media, nonewfriendspodcast.com. And don't forget to give us a rating, 5-star rating and review on Spotify and Apple. On behalf of the sophisticated gentleman, Game Master Ryan, the wise man, Darren.com, our producer, Alex, Nick, Sarah, Chris, I'm Scott. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye, bitches.
No new friends, just the old and the bold. In the world of gays, we're the ones who hold. Scott, Chris, Sarah, and Nick, a tale to be